Not easy, not on the back. And now I've got to pull out all of these staples. That's gonna suck. A lot of staples. Good morning, everybody. There was no time for an intro in the morning. Weather is good and we've got to get stuck in on that roof. So I have just got going. I've been pushing as hard as I can. When I stripped this section and built this extension here, when I joined in the roof, there was one layer of shingle. So I was very optimistic that it was going to be quick and easy to strip this roof. I've been doing it for hours now. 4 layers of felt, each one nailed, and the top layer of shingle was stapled everywhere, and they're so hard to pull out. So I've spent hours hammering in old staples and nails and trying to strip this felt off. I was thinking I was going to throw it down on the terrace there, but it was just taking too much time, so everything is going down, and I got a lot of cleaning to do at some point, ideally on the last day here on Saturday. But optimistically, we're going to try and go for both sides of the roof. I think more likely it's going to be just the one side with OSB, and then I will get the guys up here to give me a hand to do the other side with the felt as well. So there's a lot to do. I've got 2 hours of sunlight left. Gotta keep going. Let's press on. Well, after that bumpy start to the day with the extra layers of felt and stuff, I still made pretty good progress. I'm not overly disappointed with what happened. As you can see, I got at least half of this roof now is covered with Tyvek and battened up. I'm up to the fireplace inside, so I've got a smaller section to do on the back there, but it's just too dark now. Can't see. The lights don't really help that much. They are very bright, but they're just positioned wrong, so it's not really working. So I'm just going to hang them down, and I'm going to cut off the bottom of the roof here, get it all ready so I can seal it up tomorrow. But I'm pretty confident now that I will get at least this side of the roof done with OSB at the minimum. I'm undecided if I'm going to put the felt on straight away or if I'll just cover with a tarp and focus on getting the other side done too, so I can cover them at the same time. It's been a pretty good day so far. I've still got a couple of hours left to go in the day, so I'm just going to focus on a bit of prep work. And there's a lot of tidying to do inside, so I think I'm going to do that too. So far, so good. 2 more days. If the weather stays like this, we'll make great progress. Weatherman's still saying good weather and no wind. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Good morning, everyone. As you can see, the carpenter gods have provided not a breath of wind and beautiful sunshine. The air temperature's not that high, so it is still in the minus numbers, but you feel warm with the sun on your back. And I've been enjoying my job today, and I've made pretty good progress. So let's just have a look at what we've done. So as you can see, I've got the whole roof nicely stripped now. Everything's cleaned off, all nails are hammered in, and those really annoying little staples are taken care of. So I've got to cut off the end of this roof here, just the very edge. About roughly 15 centimeters has been taken away because it's that overhang on the back wall. So we're going to cut that off before I put on the Tyvek, so then I can actually just fold it over the corner, tape it to the gable end, and it's 100% airtight then. I need to cut off the bottom of the roof, but again, I think I'm going to wait until tonight to do that because it's a nice job to do when it starts to get a bit dark. There is a rotten board down by the chimney there. That needs to be addressed. Just one of them because the rest of it is all being cut off anyway. And this is the worst problem. So at some point there's been a leak here and carpenter ants have got in. And they have chewed this timber to pieces. So I'm going to have to pull out everything and make an assessment of how bad it is and just figure out what to do, fix it. But it's not too bad. I've experienced a lot worse. The roof is looking good. So I think keep going, press on. Let's try and get the OSB on by the end of the day. That would be really good if I can manage that. So now you can see here, I've chopped out all the rotten wood. You can see it on the back side of the roof there. It's just gone to pieces. And right here is where the ants were. I'm pretty sure, actually, looking at it now, that these weren't carpenter ants. This timber got wet and the little black ants, sugar ants, moved in. They like to nest in the wet timber. And they've just had a little bit of fun. So luckily it's nothing majorly structural there. There's a little bit of a weak point here, but that's right where it's going to be supported. I managed to keep a piece of old paneling, which is just over there against the roof. So I'm just going to cut that down, nail that into place here. That should take care of everything. And then I can get this bit covered up. Work with a view is always nice. Gotta love it here. Good morning, everybody. I have been really crap filming for the past 2 days. It's just been too much stress trying to get everything done, and I can't get cameras up on the roof that easily. So I will try and do better now for this day, I promise. The sun is poking over the hill now. It was a tropical -10 this morning when I got out of bed, and it was -4 in the cabin. I'd left the window open and not noticed, so it got cold. Not a lot of sleep, so motivation was not high to get out here this morning, but we got to get it done. I'd called and asked for some help, but nobody wants to work in the cold on a Saturday for free. So I'm on my own, and I got a lot to do. As you can see, the progress went pretty well on the roof. I got all the everything ready. I got the OSB up as well now, ready to put on the roof. 2-2's done. It's sealed around the chimney with the Tyvek. So it is sealed, but I would like to get at least the OSB on the roof today, and if I can start with the felt, I will. But I'm not going to make that my target because it's quite important that I get cleaned up. It is a mess. I've just had to throw everything down, and that is not the best way to keep the site efficient. So I really need to tidy that up today. If I don't make it today, I'm going to have to cover it up with some sort of tarp, because even though it's not forecast for snow, if it does come and that gets buried, I've got an absolute nightmare. So it's going to be a long day. Hopefully the sun warms things up and I can get going quite nice and efficiently. It's chilly, as you can see. I'm suited up. I got all my wool on, which I hate wearing, but I'd rather be warm and working than freezing. So let's see if we can make it today. Let's get on with it. So I was on the page yesterday and I was having a little look, and I noticed a few of you have asked some questions on why I'm doing what I'm doing and techniques I'm using, and would like some more detail. So I'm going to do my best to try and describe a little bit more about how I'm doing this. Most of the jobs I'm doing on a roof are a 2-man job or a 3-man job, and I'm obviously alone. So you've got to be a bit creative on how you do things. So what I've tried to do is kind of make my life as easy as possible, put myself in as minimal danger as possible. So I'm alone. You don't want to have an accident and fall and hurt yourself and nobody can come to get you. So what I've done here is that when I'm putting on the OSB sheets, that's the first job we got to do. And what's quite important is that it's got to be dead straight, because obviously the next row join onto those, and if they're a bit wobbly, you're not going to get nice tight joins. But normally I would snap a line across the roof, and then I would have a guy above me. I'd lift the sheets on, they'd hold and line it up with the line, and then I would shoot on. But I haven't got that person. So this batten has become that person for me. I've snapped the line across, I've measured from the plasterboard up, and the sheets are 1.2 meters. And with the little tongue on top, they're 1.21 meters. So I've figured out where they need to be, and I've snapped the line across at that measurement, 121 up. Then screwed that batten in. So now I can lift the sheets up from underneath, push it up into that batten, and in theory, if I've got that line dead straight all the way along, the sheets should be straight, so I can then shoot them from below. Then I can screw in some battens on the bottom and have something to walk on. Then it's easy. Then it's no problem. I can lift the sheets up, get them into place, hit them in, and it's all done. So the theory is that. Whether the practice works out is a different matter, but I'm alone, I've got to be creative. So let's carry on. Whew. Never said it would be easy. Well, the temperature's dropped too much now. It's too much ice on the roof, as you can see. But not the end of the world, because I've managed to get all the felt on. So this side is now waterproof. There is a small weak spot on the top where the old roof connects in, but we'll fix that early next week. I've decided now to come back up on Monday and finish this off. So the only thing left to do is a little bit of sealing there around the chimney. But the roof is ready. So I can get those battens on soon. I think what I'll do, as soon as I've finished off the other side, I'm going to batten the roof completely ready for all of the lead work and for the timber to go on, just so that's ready before I get started on putting cladding on the walls. It's looking good. I think it's time to pack it up now and go home. Have one day at home, get a shower, and then get back up here. Good progress. Pretty happy with that. Well, it was a tough week, but pretty successful. Things went well. I didn't quite get the progress I would have liked to have got done, but like I said, it was a bit unrealistic to expect to get both sides done. But I got the one side completely finished, even with the felt. So now that leaves me the same job to do next week on the opposite side. It's a little bit smaller because there's valleys there, and I can't do the last section where the fireplace is coming up the chimney there, because I still need to use the chimney for a little while. So I'm just going to make some sort of temporary solution there, and then I'll fix that after. But it's gone pretty well, to be honest. Mother Nature really provided this week, and I'm hoping the carpenter gods keep smiling and do the same next week, because if I can have these conditions, I can get the other side buttoned up before the weather comes back. And that just leaves that one wall left to do, which is a mile marker. When we get that done and the whole outside is kind of all new and ready for cladding, that's a big moment. So I'm looking forward to that. But right now, I got to go home, spend the day with the family, and take a shower. I really need one. So until next upload, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share to everybody you know. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.